Hey everybody, how's it going? Give me just 1 second and I will have us rolling here. I'm going to give you guys a quick update kind of on what we have going on here. Weather's a little bit active this afternoon, as expected. We do have some warnings as well. No tornado warnings in Arkansas as of 5:54 p.m. We've got one near Fort Smith, but it's not in Arkansas. It's actually still in Oklahoma. Give me just 1 second, guys. Of course, this is taking forever to pull up. Easy always does. What is going on here? Okay, so I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to get my chat pulled up so I can see what you guys are asking, but Restream is refusing to do it. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started here. I won't be able to see your questions for now. I'll look again and see if I can get that chat pulled up. I know that some of you follow me from Oklahoma, but we do have severe thunderstorm warnings in Arkansas. I want to go over those first. This is an Arkansas channel, guys, and I'll go over the Oklahoma stuff next. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings in southwest Arkansas, mainly for Little River County. It's noisy in Foreman right now. Wilton, Winthrop, maybe some hail ongoing there. You can see, if we really zoom in here to Foreman, you can see that activity. There's another segment of that storm that's crossing now the river into Little River County. The text from the National Weather Service, I can go ahead and read that for you real quick. There's also a strong storm to the north, and we'll touch on that next. A severe thunderstorm was located 8 miles southwest of Foreman. It's moving northeast at 20 miles an hour, so pretty slow. It's not like our last storms. And the hazards are 60 mile an hour wind gust and half dollar size hail, so make sure you're inside. Don't want to be caught outside with this. And this area is under a tornado watch. And this is for Little River County, like I said, in far southwest Arkansas. This is north of Texarkana. And then we have another severe thunderstorm here to the northwest. It's kind of a part of that same little segment there. This storm might have produced a tornado earlier near Hayworth, Oklahoma. It did have a tornado warning. It is not anymore. That's eventually going to impact, I think, Horatio and DeQueen, Locksburg, so in Sevier County. It's 5:55, so in the next 20 to 30 minutes, this area is going to be observing stronger thunderstorms. As far as areas to the north, there is a severe thunderstorm warning that's headed for Sebastian County, so Fort Smith. It's not in Sebastian County yet. It's more so just for LaFleur County, which is in Oklahoma, so Poto, Spiro, Pecola, Panama. This storm did have a tornado warning on it earlier. Some of you guys, if you live in the Fort Smith area, might have gotten notifications that like news channels were going live and stuff. This is a part of that Tulsa coverage area. That's why there's no tornado warning in Fort Smith or Greenwood or Barling or Lavaca. But there is a stronger thunderstorm to your west that is moving to the east that could have stronger wind gust. It looks like it has plenty of lightning in it. So just a heads up as this continues to move east with time. From the Fort Smith area south. There's also a stronger storm west of Smithville, Oklahoma that could eventually impact parts of western Arkansas. We have tornado watches up this evening for a large part of southwest Arkansas. I'll pull that up for you real quick. It does not include the Fort Smith area or points north to northwest Arkansas or over to central Arkansas. It's only southwest Arkansas, and I'll pull that up just so we can kind of go over that real quick. Guys, I am home with my kids. My wife is busy this evening, so if you hear some little boys in the background, it's because I'm daddy daycare this evening. So we do have tornado watches up from Scott County down to Polk County, Montgomery County, down to Howard County, Little River, Sevier. I mean, you guys can see from Camden, which is Ouachita County, well over to the west and to Miller County. This is mainly southwest of Arkadelphia, south of Fort Smith, southwest of Hot Springs. Little Rock's not included, Conway, Hot Springs. None of that. It's just southwest Arkansas. I don't expect the National Weather Service to expand the tornado watches. I think southwest Arkansas, I think they're probably going to be good with that. If they do decide to expand it, I'll have an update on my Facebook. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit my page there. But definitely, if you live in southwest Arkansas here over the next few hours, this is until 10 p.m. Need to watch the weather. We've already had some tornado warnings in southeast Oklahoma today, and that's kind of what we're watching for now. So just kind of want to reiterate, looking across the state, storms are just now really getting to western Arkansas. I said on Facebook this morning I thought maybe 4 to 7 p.m. was our time frame, and it looks to be about right. It's almost 6 now. Storms are getting close to western Arkansas. Northwest Arkansas is pretty empty for the time being. You had some storms move through earlier. The severe weather risk in northern Arkansas up here is very, very low. It's low really across most of the state. Southwest Arkansas, this little corridor here, I mean, I guess we can count western Arkansas near Fort Smith, but mainly this area I think is the concern for this evening. And that's just, I'm just referencing stronger thunderstorms, not really even tornado risk. I think the tornado risk is highest in this little corridor, excuse me, down by Texarkana, and up to around Mena, Waldron, down to Arkadelphia, kind of where the tornado watch polygons were. I would really like to be able to pull up my chat to see what you guys are saying, but Restream is just not having that right now. I don't know what's wrong with this website. I don't usually ever have problems. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Oh yeah, I think I'm going to be able to pull it up. Let me look at your guys. If you guys have questions, now's the time to ask, so I can look at the comments over here. The tornado warning that was southwest of Fort Smith has been canceled, by the way, so no tornado warnings up at all for anyone in the region. There was a bunch of tornado warnings earlier in Oklahoma, but yeah, so Cameron, no tornado warnings right now. We have a severe thunderstorm warning near Fort Smith, down by Poto. We have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings in southwest Arkansas and Little River and Sevier County, but that's it. Will the storm make it to Marion? So that's a good question. I know some of you guys are likely curious. So guys, this complex here is expected to move east tonight, okay? And as it moves east, I think it will lose it's not really that strong right now, but I think it will lose intensity with time, and I think it could become more scattered with time as well. So this will likely make it to central Arkansas later tonight. Probably, I mean, well after dark, obviously. I would venture to say maybe well after 8, 9 o'clock. Okay, so if you live in Little Rock, Conway, east of Hot Springs, over to Stuttgart, Searcy, that area, you know, that section of the state. When I say central in this regard, that's kind of what I'm talking about here. You know, this area probably after 8, 9 o'clock, and it probably doesn't make it, maybe even later than 8 or 9. It probably doesn't make it to eastern Arkansas until well after, maybe way after midnight, early morning hours of Sunday, and by that time it could be more scattered. I want to reiterate, the severe weather risk today is very low for a large part of Arkansas outside of southwest Arkansas, areas south of Fort Smith down to Texarkana, southwest of Hot Springs. So if you're in Little Rock, Jonesboro, Memphis, northwest Arkansas, or Harrison, or Mountain Home, guys, it's just not it today for you. You should be just fine. Our Amy's in Arkadelphia. Arkadelphia's kind of on the line. It's obviously right here in Grant County. You've got storms to your southwest that we'll have to watch over the next couple of hours. Some could be strong to severe, strong wind gusts, hail, and maybe a tornado or two. Storm rolling into Hackett. Yep, looks like storms are... I live in western Arkansas as well, so these storms that are here are going to be hitting me soon, so... Fort Smith, you've got storms just to your southwest moving in here soon. There's a severe thunderstorm warning south of Fort Smith, but not from Fort Smith this time. Rumbling Bonanza, yep, storm moving into Bonanza soon. That's also in Sebastian County. Praying northwest Arkansas is okay. My kiddo is at his grandma's. Northwest Arkansas will be fine tonight. So, I think the biggest thing this evening, guys, is, we could have some stronger wind gusts at times, maybe some hail. Some of these storms in southwest Arkansas there's quite a bit of instability down here in southwest Arkansas, near Texarkana, the counties that border Texarkana, Miller County. You can see it right there. It looks like we do have a hail core possibly moving in here just south of Foreman. That's headed for Wilton and Ashdown. There's a severe thunderstorm warning for this storm. And then if you're in Horatio or Winthrop or areas south of D Queen, you could have hail impact you soon as well. These storms look like a much greater hail concern than the storms up by Fort Smith. Yeah, Chantel, I said Arkadelphia could have a tornado too. I didn't necessarily mean in Arkadelphia. I just mean in this area. In southwest Arkansas, we could have a tornado warning or two tonight. Maybe a tornado is possible. Not an outbreak scenario, so certainly not anything to panic about, I promise. Jess says it's getting dark in Greenwood. That's where I am. I'm in Greenwood as well. Yes, it's been icky all day, real humid. It feels like tornado weather today, but really in all reality, the tornado risk is pretty low. Not zero, but it's pretty low. Isla says, will Muldrow, Oklahoma be okay for tornadoes? Yeah, I think so. I think that storm that was south of Fort Smith that had a warning on it is kind of Muldrow's to the north of that, so it should be fine. Judy says, will north central Arkansas see any bad storms? Don't think so. Not tonight. No, I think the severe weather concern is in southwest Arkansas tonight. Sean's in Dayton and in Huntington, which is in Sebastian County. You have a strong storm to your west, Sean, that is near Poto and Panama and Bacola. That will eventually impact you. Who knows if it will be strong by then, but it could be. So something to watch. It's 6:04 now. It's dark in Van Buren. Yep, storm's moving in soon. Right on schedule. I hated a lot of kiddos have prom tonight. I saw some prom dresses and suits whenever I was coming home to do some coverage, and so I hope everybody that's doing prom is safe tonight. I wish this would all go away. Do you think Fort Smith is going to flood? I hope not. Fort Smith floods pretty easy. I don't think this will be enough to create just dramatic flooding concerns. Howdy from Southeast Arkansas. How's it going? Excuse me. Just jumping on. How's it looking? Says Chrissy. Not too bad right now. We have some stronger thunderstorms in southwest Arkansas, and one near Fort Smith, but really that's it. No tornado warnings right now. It's been a minute since I've kind of done a reset. I do want to make sure that everyone understands that tonight, if you live in Arkansas, it's possible that you have a severe weather risk tonight. But if you don't live in southwest Arkansas, the odds of that risk is pretty low. I think from Fort Smith south, and this is not an exact, guys, but I'm just being very basic here. From Fort Smith south to Texarkana, over to Arkadelphia, areas just southwest of Hot Springs, Glenwood, Amity, Wicks, Mena. I could probably draw that south of Danville a little bit too, but down to Camden, areas just west of El Dorado, over to Hope and Texarkana, Magnolia is the best. And the risk isn't high today, but that's like the most concentrated area for stronger storms tonight. Over the next few hours. So if you live in Little Rock, if you live in Bentonville, Harrison, Mountain Home, Jonesboro, DeWitt, Brinkley, Wynn, you don't really have a risk for severe weather tonight. And if you did, it would be extremely low, especially in North Arkansas. I think the greatest concern is in Southwest. So shouldn't be any severe warnings in Saffel. That's way up there. Yeah, no, shouldn't have any. Hey there, Shelby. Thanks for watching. Lisa says, do you think we will have any hail? Lisa, where are you watching from? Southwest Arkansas. Could. Penny says, do you not cover the River Valley? Well, of course I do. I cover the whole state, Penny. All 75 counties. We talked about the storm that's near Greenwood, Fort Smith earlier, coming out of LaFleur County. That could impact parts of the River Valley. My definition of the River Valley is a little different than kind of what I hear on local news, but like for me, I think from Fort Smith, Alma, Van Buren, Clarksville, Russellville is more the River Valley, but this down here I don't really consider River Valley, so I don't really know what you're where you're talking about. But the severe weather risk in the River Valley too is very, very low this evening. Maybe a strong storm or two. Zach says, how is Greenbrier looking later? You could have some storms later this evening. Severe weather risk is really low, though. Maybe just rain and thunder. Yes, Al, I'm live on Facebook, YouTube, and X, so Twitter. So not just YouTube. I do all of them. Diana says, what about Waldron? You do have some storms to your west if you're in Waldron. The severe weather risk, there is not real high, but Scott County, I think, is under a tornado watch. It is. Scott County's under a tornado watch, so we'll see. If you live in Waldron, if you live around Waldron, if you live down south on 71 or north on 71 in Scott County, we'll have to watch this storm to our southwest, southeast of Tallahena. Now that could impact the Waldron area later, or areas south of Waldron. So, no, Michaela, not really for Alma. Severe weather risk is pretty low in Alma. Just rain, maybe some thunder. Tori, yes, we are talking about weather, severe thunderstorms. Yep, we have a couple of severe thunderstorms in southwest Arkansas and one up by Fort Smith. So I'm just trying to answer as many questions as I can because I know that a lot of people, may have not caught up with the weather today, may have no idea this is even going on. So making sure people... Thank you for the report, Joe. I was wondering about that storm in Foreman. Blaine says, what about Fort Smith? Yeah, you've got some thunder moving into Fort Smith soon. It's going to get rainy, but the severe weather risk in Fort Smith looks pretty low. Chico County is kind of weird. Some parts get worse than others. Yeah, that's way down in southeast Arkansas for those who aren't familiar. Nikki's asking about Nashville. You do have some strong storms southwest of Nashville now, near D. Queen, and south to Foreman, Horatio, near Ashdown. So if you're in Nashville, you could get those storms soon. Strong wind gust, hail, maybe a tornado. Someone's asking about Little Rock. It would be later tonight. And I don't think Little Rock is going to have much of a concern tonight. Maybe just rain and thunder. Van Buren is good. Yep. No concern in Van Buren right now. How concerned should we be in Arkadelphia? Nothing wrong with respecting the weather tonight if you live in Arkadelphia. Grant County is under a tornado watch, but this is a lower end watch. Doesn't mean we shouldn't respect it, but this is not like I don't think this is like Easter Sunday where we had a bunch of warnings. 5 News told Shady Point to take cover. Yep, there was a tornado warning over there earlier. No tornado warning now. Texarkana says Lori. Yep, you've got some storms that are just to your north if you're in Texarkana that do have severe thunderstorm warnings on them. None for Texarkana at this time. We'll see if any more storms form, but the strongest storms in the state right now are near Horatio, Foreman, Ashdown, south of D. Queen, and Little River in Sevier County. And then we also have strong thunderstorms here south of Fort Smith. So switching to the Fort Smith radar, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning there for this complex southwest of Fort Smith in LaFleur County, Oklahoma. This will move into Sebastian County soon. So if you live in Fort Smith, Hackett, Greenwood, Barling, Mansfield, maybe Lavaca, be kind of close. It's probably going to get pretty noisy soon. So heavy rainfall for sure. Jefferson County, yeah, that's south of Little Rock, so Pine Bluff and whatnot. Whitehall, not expecting a whole lot of issues in Jefferson County. Southwest Arkansas is really it today, guys. And I guess parts of western Arkansas, I really didn't even think Fort Smith-ish area would get a whole lot, but it's just a storm with some wind in it, it appears. Most of the chasers I follow are in New Mexico. Yep. Severe weather risk out in eastern New Mexico today. I would be there probably in a past life, but home tonight. Got severe weather here, so. Southern Charm says hail from Midland or Hackett. I doubt it. Maybe small hail, if anything. So, a lot of thunder, a lot of rain, and some lightning, but I don't think any big hail or anything like that for Hackett or Midland. I've already answered Arkadelphia, Fort Smith. Yeah, Fort Smith's fine for now. Just some thunder and some rain. Kit Kat says, thank you, God. Yep. Should be good. So, I really appreciate everybody tuning in. I get a lot of questions. Get a lot of questions when we have weather like this, so it's nice to hop on a live and just answer those questions. So, are these storms coming into Sebastian County short-lived? It might linger for a little bit, but it's not going to be hours long. You can see here in Sebastian County, it's moving towards the Oklahoma state line, and we'll be here within the next 30 to 45 minutes. So, we also have the 2 storms in southwest Arkansas that are severe. I guess I should max my screen out. Hail is the main concern with those, along with some strong wind gusts. Horatio down to D. Queen. Ashdown, Foreman, Wilton, Winthrop. So Little River and Sevier County, possibly eventually Howard County, and maybe Hempstead, northern sections of Hempstead County. Tabitha says, are the storms coming to White County? Maybe later tonight. I doubt the severe weather risk as much of anything in White County. Probably just some rain and thunder if it makes it that far. I have a question. What makes the storms look green? Is it the pollen? That's actually, I love that. No, it's not the pollen. a lot of times when we have storms, sun setting in the west, storms in front of the sunlight, that sunlight will refract off the ice crystal, so hail, raindrops, and create the green hue that you see. It's not always indicative of tornadoes like you hear on Twister. It's just a light refraction. So, good question. It's not necessarily a tornado. It can be indicative of large hail sometimes, but it's not always a... Looking at radar, what's your take on that system to the south of Heavener? Just a thunderstorm? Yeah, great question. So they're asking about the storm here southwest of Heavener, which is in LaFleur County, Oklahoma. It does look strong. It's not severe warned. It does look like there is some minor turning of the winds there. Who knows? And then obviously we have the storm here that's southwest of Fort Smith. That's kind of an interesting look. Near Shady Point. There is no tornado warning here, but we'll keep an eye on that, see if that does spark any other tornado warnings soon. That's headed for Cameron now. If this, just so we're clear here, folks, this storm that's moving into Sebastian County soon, it did have a tornado warning on it earlier in Oklahoma. It does not right now, but if it does again, it will likely include areas south of Fort Smith. So Hackett, Greenwood, Huntington, Mansfield-ish area, and then east of Greenwood possibly. We'll see. I'll be watching it close. I plan on staying here for another 10 to 15 minutes and letting these storms move into the area and just covering them accordingly. So, Caitlin, if you're in Pensacola, there's no shame in taking cover. We were just talking about that storm, the rotation there. That is near Shady Point. Pensacola is north of that, so you might be okay, but there's no tornado warning at this time. So we'll see what the National Weather Service in Tulsa decides to do with that. Does Van Buren have a tornado threat right now? No, not in Van Buren. So what about southwest Arkansas? Yeah, we'll go down and touch on that real quick, and we'll go back up to the Fort Smith storm in just a moment. We do have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings in southwest Arkansas right now. One near Horatio, Winthrop, Foreman, and Wilton, so Little River and Sevier counties. And that's moving off to the northeast. No tornado warnings in southwest Arkansas, but you can see it does look like we have some larger hail possible south of Foreman. That's headed for Wilton and Ashdown now, so hopefully I get some reports from down there. We can figure out how big that hail really is, but no tornado warnings in southwest Arkansas. Several southwest Arkansas counties do have tornado watches, though, so we'll watch that accordingly. I think right now, as it stands as of 6:15 p.m., the greatest severe weather concern to me is from Fort Smith south to around Ogden and Ashdown. So if you live in Mena, Hatfield, Vandervoot, Wicks, or Gillum, we'll watch the storms moving out of Oklahoma. And, of course, if you live south of Fort Smith, which I do, I live in this area, so if I get a tornado warning, unfortunately, this could impact where I live. So we'll see how that goes. I'm home with my kids. My wife is out with a friend this evening, so you guys might just have to hang out with me here. Bryson says, are we at a tornado risk for Greenwood? Low-end tornado risk, I'd say. Watching the storm coming out of LaFleur County, Oklahoma now. So if you live in Greenwood, keep an eye on the weather. I'm here with you. I'm in Greenwood too, so I'm telling you, cracking thunder and west of Hackett. Yeah, a lot of lightning moving. So Hackett is in Sebastian County. It's my hometown, home of the Hornets. And she's right here. Cheryl, I think. Cheryl Rahars just said that. Cheryl, you're hearing the lightning coming off this storm that's moving in. So it's a nasty storm. Lots of rain, lots of lightning, lots of thunder. Jennifer says, just said Wilton. Oh, okay, yeah, I was talking. I watched it rotate over Worcester. Okay, Amanda, thank you. How is Wardville? Use safety come first. How about Cabot? Cabot's other side of the state, so no concern right now. Severe weather is not a concern in Cabot this evening. If there was a severe weather risk, it would be extremely low and late tonight. So we have a tornado risk for Logan. You're not under a tornado watch in Logan County, but this storm here south of Fort Smith could eventually impact Logan County, Magazine, Boonville, so we'll see. 6:15 right now, 6:16, so Brooke says, any concern for Fort Smith? I just joined. No, it's just rain and thunder right now in Fort Smith. Strong thunderstorm to your south. Morgan says, will NWA get storms tonight? Yeah, it looks like you've got some activity moving in soon, but it looks just like rain to me. The severe weather risk in northwest Arkansas is extremely low to near zero. Kate says, just overcast in Ozark. Yeah, for now. You'll get your stuff later. Chelsea says, what has he said about Pensacola? Not a whole lot. Pecola's in Oklahoma, so I don't really cover Oklahoma a lot. But if you're in Pecola, there's a stronger storm moving in, severe thunderstorm. So lots of thunder and lightning with this storm near Poto, Shady Point, Cameron, Panama, and this is headed for Sebastian County. Just to give everyone a little bit of a zoom out for the time being, I'm going to do a little bit of a reset. We got storm number 1 here, storm number 2, and storm number 3. So we've got 3 storms right now that we're dealing with that are of note. We've got one near Fort Smith, south of Fort Smith, that is, moving into Sebastian County soon. That's a severe thunderstorm warning. Still in Oklahoma, crossing the line soon. We've got another storm, number 2, in southwest Arkansas near Foreman, Horatio, that area. And then we have a third storm that's north of Texarkana, in Little River County, that is warned for hail and strong wind gust. We don't have any tornado warnings. It's 6:19 p.m. right now, so no tornado warnings for the time being. We'll see if that changes. Somebody asked, can I show the tornado watch map? I absolutely can. Let me pull up my handy-dandy Arkansas Storm Tracker Facebook page that I post on all the time. This is literally my life. I feel like this is all I do, post on Facebook. Yeah, I'll show you it real quick. So this is the tornado watches for tonight. As you can see, like Scott and Polk County, Montgomery County, so Mount Ida, Grant County, Washita County, all the way down to Magnolia, Lafayette County, Miller, Little River. So just southwest Arkansas's tornado watches tonight, guys. These are the only watches in Arkansas. This goes until 10 p.m. So that's it for now on tornado watches. And that kind of matches the theme right now. I know that Sebastian County... Excuse me. I know that Sebastian County was not included in that, but there is a strong storm headed for Sebastian County now. We are watching in Van Buren. Thank you for watching, Melissa. It's raining down here in Fort Smith. Yep, storm's moving in soon. How far east is this wall coming? Stone County. Danielle, if it makes it there, it's going to be late tonight, and the severe weather risk is pretty low. Marvella says, what about Dirks? Well, Dirks is down here in southwest Arkansas, not far from Nashville. You do have severe thunderstorm warnings to your southwest, Marvella. And that could impact you within the hour or hour and a half or so. These storms are kind of, I don't know, they look somewhat disorganized compared to what they did earlier. We'll see, though. Strong winds and hail and a tornado will be possible tonight in that region. It's thundering outside. Can you guys hear it? This storm right here, I live in Sebastian County, so this storm is headed my way. Should be interesting. If we had anything, folks, I know that some people were concerned about this earlier. This little signature here, this looks pretty broad, so I don't think we have an imminent tornado concern with this. This looks more of just like stronger winds and just an impressive amount of rainfall and lightning. So, thank you for what you do. Absolutely. Thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to do this. Andrea says, any rotation? For which storm, Andrea? We can look at the southwest Arkansas storms too, make sure that those aren't spinning a whole lot. Last I checked, they weren't spinning much. The tornado risk was higher in Oklahoma today. They had a bunch of tornado warnings down there today. I don't think our tornado risk is just real high tonight in Arkansas. I don't see much. This is a really rough area for radar coverage, southwest Arkansas, so it's hard to see anything anyhow. But I don't see a whole lot there. If that changes, I'll let you know. This storm did have a tornado warning on it earlier, near Shady Point in Panama and whatnot, but it does not now. It's just a severe thunderstorm. To me, it looks like the worst of this storm is going to be in South Sebastian County, Hackett, Greenwood, Midland, Mansfield, Hartford. It's going to probably be pretty noisy when it moves into town. Plenty of rainfall. Jessica says, is Shady Point in the clear? Shady Point's in Oklahoma. It's storming like crazy in Shady Point. The worst of it is almost past you, though. And it says Mineral Springs. Yeah, so we were watching Southwest Arkansas earlier. We have some stronger thunderstorms now in Southwest Arkansas, and that could impact you within the next hour or two. Kristen says, do we think the bad weather will make its way over to Sheridan? No, not really. I think by the time it makes it to Sheridan area, these storms should be really on downtrend mode. I don't think they're going to last long into Arkansas with much intensity. At least I hope. I guess we'll see. But what can we expect as far as winds in Greenwood? Well, Lacey, right now, I'm waiting to see what the National Weather Service does with this. If they extend the warning into Sebastian County and into Greenwood, it's possible that we could have winds, some pretty strong wind gust. As of right now, looking at, we've got winds. Obviously, this radar's pretty close to the ground here, the beam here. This storm's not too far, but I think it's possible that we could have winds well over 20, 30 miles an hour with the storm as it moves into town. But the worst wind gust really might be south of Greenwood in South Sebastian County. Now, it doesn't look overly intense at this time. It does have a lot of lightning, though. Do you think Hot Springs will have a tornado threat? Summer, not really. Yeah, it's low. Low, real low. Titania, yeah, there is a possibility that a couple more storms do develop here in the next little bit near Texarkana, but I'm watching that closely. And guys, just a heads up, I'm going to let you know, I live in western Arkansas, in Sebastian County, south of Fort Smith. And we've been talking about that for a while now, so if my feed cuts off, it's due to the storms. Weather just called me and said I'm in the path of a storm producing 70-mile-an-hour winds and up to golf ball size hail. I'm in Bacola. Wow. Let's look at the warning text here. Yeah, so the National Weather Service has this warned out for 70-mile-an-hour wind gust. I didn't see that looking at radar just a few moments ago. It might have been earlier though. Obviously, if the warning is issued out in Sebastian County, we will discuss and reference what the National Weather Service has to say, and they just did. So the severe thunderstorm warning has been expanded for a large chunk of Sebastian County. So if you live in Hackett, if you live in Barling, Lavaca, Greenwood, Midland, Hartford, Mansfield, if you live in Bloomer, if you live in Bonanza, if you live in the Jenny Lynn community, South Fort Smith, Rye Hill area, if you live in the Dayton community, if you live in Huntington, if you live in Witcherville, guys, I could go on and on about Sebastian County. And this warning does include where I live too, so obviously I have to take it with note too. This thunderstorm is moving into South Sebastian County soon, and we'll read what the National Weather Service had to say. The National Weather Service is referencing this as a considerable threat, which is a little bit heightened of a concern. They're saying a severe thunderstorm was located near Spiro. We've been talking about it for a while. It's moving northeast at 35 miles an hour with 70-mile-an-hour wind gust possible. Expect considerable tree damage, and damage is likely to mobile homes, roofs, and outbuildings. So certainly, guys, you want to stay inside. 1 second. Hey man, it's about to get pretty noisy outside, okay? We got a strong storm moving in. I'm live, I'm just letting you know. Okay. Bo, you don't have a shirt on, okay. Make sure you guys stay in the living room or stay in your bedroom. Don't go near the windows or anything, okay? The dog's inside?
Okay.
Are the dogs inside?
Okay, but...
Are the dogs inside? Answer me, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you guys go hang out in your bedroom or maybe in the living room on the couches?
Okay, but like... Oh yeah, there is no...
Guys, I'm a father of 2 kids. My wife is with a friend this evening, so kiddos are home with me. So making sure that they understand, even though I'm working, that we still have to do what we're supposed to with the storm moving in. No changes to Southwest Arkansas. So just want to reiterate, guys, if you're south of Fort Smith and Barling, Lavaca, Hackett, Greenwood, Midland, whatnot, strong storm moving in. The National Weather Service, we talked about it earlier. I didn't see just incredible wind gusts with this, but this storm is strong. And the National Weather Service in Tulsa is referencing the potential for wind gusts up to 70 miles an hour. I think they're basically saying that's our max potential with this storm. So Definitely want to be inside. Probably don't want to be driving around in this. There's a lot of heavy rain regardless. Plenty of thunder, plenty of lightning, and I could see even some intermittent flash flooding issues as it moves through. I wouldn't expect that to last very long, but of course, it's a little bit different for me because I live here. I live in Greenwood, so this does include me. So if it gets too gnarly, I guess technically I'll have to... No tornado warning yet. I feel comfortable not sheltering, but this is going to come really close to where I live. So I would venture to guess that if it does get too bad, I'll likely lose power because I could cough loud enough and lose power in this house. So Hannah says outlook for Central Arkansas later tonight. Yeah, not a whole lot. Rain and maybe some thunder. Sierra says, did he say south of Fort Smith or South Fort Smith? Both. South Fort Smith, you're talking on 71 South, Rye Hill, that area. This does kind of include you. I mean, so for example, the radar is right here. That's in South Fort Smith and Rye Hill, and the severe thunderstorm warning does include that. Joanne says, what about Kirby? That's in southwest Arkansas. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings in southwest Arkansas, but not near Kirby at this time. You're good for now in Kirby. We'll have to watch the storms to the southwest. We really need to get you a Generac, Zachary. Yeah, I know. Airmasters, is a sponsor of mine. We've been talking about doing something, hopefully in the future. Erica says, Boonville, please. No warnings for Boonville yet, but we'll watch these storms that are moving into Sebastian County, Erica. So, if you live in Boonville or Magazine. Kendra says, I'm on 96. Should I shelter? There's no tornado warning, but certainly don't want you to be outside. Probably get away from windows because of the strong winds. Kim says, what about Alma? Nothing in Alma right now. Just some thunder. The storms, this worst of it's to the south of Alma. Brevin says, Fort Smith, please. I'm guessing you're talking about the warning. So Fort Smith, greater Fort Smith, like downtown, is not included, but South Fort Smith is included in the latest severe thunderstorm warning. Strong winds, heavy rain. Shady Point, Bacola. Yeah, guys, this strong storm moving in soon. Strong wind gust, heavy rain. What about Benton? So Benton is in central Arkansas, south of Little Rock, where there's not really much of a severe weather risk this evening. Sierra says, what about Mansfield? You're under severe thunderstorm warning. At least half the town, because part of the town is not in Scott County, or is in Scott County, I guess. If you're in Mansfield, the Dayton community, Witcherville, or Huntington, you do have a strong storm moving in soon. I think the worst of it might be north of Mansfield, though. It looks like the winds are really gusting out here near Cameron. So if you live in Hackett, if you live south of Hackett in Hartford area, so if you live on 45 south of Hackett or around Hackett in general, you've got some really strong winds that are moving in soon. So certainly want to be on the heads up for that, and this could eventually impact the Highway 10 East area towards Greenwood. I think that's Highway 253 or 252 that runs off of 10 down to like the Midland area. Strong storm moving in soon. Guys, and I don't want anyone in southwest Arkansas to feel like I'm neglecting them. But we've talked about both of these storms kind of at length right now. I'll touch on it real quick and then go back to the Fort Smith storm. These storms, guys, just for now, just don't look. The storm near Foreman and Ashdown is certainly stronger. Could have some larger hail moving towards Wilton and Ashdown soon. But I think large hail is the biggest concern with that. But the storm here that is south of Fort Smith, moving towards Greenwood and Sebastian County, I think is the bigger concern. I think the winds with this is pretty strong. The whole complex is moving east. Someone was asking. This whole thing is moving east. So it's going to eventually move into central Arkansas and eastern Arkansas late tonight into early Sunday morning. But the severe weather risk really is confined to, I would think, this area of the state, really. And that's it. I'm honestly a little surprised that... Not surprised that this is happening south of Fort Smith, so close to Fort Smith. I felt like the boundary was kind of on the line there of instability. It felt like tornado weather today in this area. So... Slaytonville Road off 45 south of Hackett. Heavy rain starting here, lightning and thunder, but no wind yet. Thank you for the report, Tracy. That's a fantastic report. So, Slaytonville Road is south of Hackett, where the stronger part of the storm is located. What is the timing for south of Fort Smith, Brittany? And is Waldron area a concern in that? No, right now Waldron doesn't really have anything of concern. If you're talking south of Fort Smith, it's now. You're under severe thunderstorm warning, so strong storm moving in here within the next 20 or 30 minutes. Megan, yes, Shady Point's fine. Martha St. John says, I can't hear you. Martha, it might be a problem on your end because my audio feed's coming through. So make sure your volume's turned up on your phone or whatever you're watching me on, your TV. Misty, yeah, so the storm, one of the storms in southwest Arkansas did appear to be weakening a little bit, and they canceled the severe thunderstorm warning near DeQueen, Horatio, down to Winthrop. They're maintaining it for Wilton, Ashdown, and areas north of Ogden. So if you live in Little River County there near Wilton and Ashdown, heads up, a strong storm's moving into town here pretty soon. But the strongest storm in the state is moving into Sebastian County now. I do think that the concern is in this region of the storm where you can see it looks like the storm's almost bowing out some. I think this is where the pockets of stronger winds will be, and so that's moving into Hackett, Midland, eventually possibly Greenwood, Witcherville, Huntington, Jenny Lynn community, and so on. So I know that I'm from this area, guys, so I'm a lot of people probably watching from this area. Fiena Hills, Picola Casino area, Zach. Yeah, strong storm moving in now on you if you're at the Picola Casino or close to it, Fiena Hills. Thank you, guys. Martha, I'm sorry about the audio, but no one else is having that issue. It has to be an issue on your end because nobody else is saying that. I'm sorry. I don't know. Donna, not much going on for Jasper and Deer tonight. There's not really a severe weather risk. Might get some rain and thunder later. Linda says Fort Smith, Upper Lane, it's getting loud. I bet. Anything big moving into Polk County? Not right now, no. Jan says I can hear him perfectly. Thank you, Jan. Yeah, I think Martha was having a problem with her audio is all. It's okay. It happens. And just a reminder, guys, I'm live on Facebook, YouTube, X, also known as Twitter. You can cast me your TV if you don't want to watch on your phone, if you have a smart TV. And if you're having an issue seeing the radar on your phone, if you tilt it to the side, it'll make the picture a little bit bigger and easier to read. We have two severe thunderstorm warnings in the state right now, guys. We've got one here. We've got two here. That's it. I'm just going to kind of let these two storms kind of play out over the next 20 or 30 minutes. We don't have any tornado warnings. Right now, we have a severe thunderstorm warning for Sebastian County. So south of Fort Smith, the Greenwood, Hackett area, Hartford, Dayton, and Witcherville, Huntington areas. And then we have a strong to severe thunderstorm near Ashdown in southwest Arkansas near Little River. Excuse me, not near, in Little River County. And that's mainly for large hail and strong winds. The concern near Fort Smith, the Greenwood area, this storm, I think, is stronger wind gusts. This is moving into Hackett now, eventually Greenwood. And Huntington, Mansfield area, eventually east of Greenwood in the Washburn community, Barling, Lavaca, and so on. It's going to be noisy, guys. Regardless if it's windy or not, regardless if there's hail, it's going to be noisy because of the thunder and the lightning. Donna says, when is the rain going to start for Newton County? Your chances go up here over the next couple of hours, so... Storms are just now making it to western Arkansas, and really, outside of the Fort Smith storm, this doesn't look that impressive, which I didn't really think it would. I'm really surprised that... Let me take that back. I'm not surprised that we have a severe thunderstorm warning here near Fort Smith, because we had the conditions for it today, but I just thought that these would kind of peter out at dark. But we got a couple. Andrea, yeah, so earlier there was some rotation in this storm. As it was moving into the Hackett area, or, south of Picola, kind of that Cameron area. But to me, I just don't feel like the rotation with this is just overly strong. As a matter of fact, it looks very broad. Now, with that being said, I think there's some wind with this. Radar is estimating wind gusts near 50 miles an hour. And guys, the radar site's right here. So we're getting 58 miles an hour, I think I just saw on that sample. So from Cameron to Hackett, it's about to get windy. As a matter of fact, I'm going to text my mother-in-law. She lives in Hackett. Kim, it's about to get real windy in Hackett. If I didn't text her, she would get on to me. So I've got a lot of friends and family that live in Hackett. I'm from Hackett. That's my hometown. If you live in Hackett, if you live anywhere near Hackett, if you live in Bonanza, if you live south of Hackett along Highway 45, if you live in Bermuda Grass, if you live along Slaytonville, if you live west of Hackett towards like if you're going to Rock Island, if you live in the city limits of Hackett, it's probably going to get pretty windy soon. And if it doesn't get real windy, I'd be surprised. So the National Weather Service has it warned for 70 mile an hour winds. I think that's the max wind gust potential with this. I think winds of 40 to 50 miles an hour is very possible. It looks better than it did earlier. So that's kind of what we're going through right now. The severe thunderstorm warning is most concerning here. I live in this area too, guys, so if you hear thunder in the background, that's me. I'm going to go as long as my power will let me. If I lose power, sorry. Not a whole lot I can do. So Mariah says, I'm on Bermuda Grass now. It's definitely picking up. Thank you for the report, Mariah. I was down in that area earlier today doing some deer hunting stuff. So hopefully you guys make it through just fine. It's probably going to get a little windy, but nothing we've never seen before. Lots of thunder, lots of lightning, and some rain. I'm going to go down and touch base on our Southwest Arkansas storm real quick. Make sure our Southwest Arkansas people are informed correctly. I wish I had some reports from Ashdown. Hopefully somebody from Ashdown or Wilton will give me a report soon. It's possible that we could have large hail moving into town soon. Here is your radared hail core. This coloration there means that there's some potential for some larger hail. We'll see how big it really is. I think the National Weather Service had it warned earlier for $half size. So 1.25 inches, so pretty good size hail. So if you're in Ashdown or Wilton, let me know if you see any large hail. I think the concern near Fort Smith isn't hail. It's more for wind. So we do have a storm down here. Let's check on this real quick. We'll check on that Mena and Hatfield and Cove storm. It does look like it may be trying to rotate a little bit, but we do have tornado watches up in southwest Arkansas tonight, so we'll have to keep an eye on that over the next few hours. That goes until 10 p.m. Can I get a report for Russellville? Don't think it'll get too crazy, but currently driving. Yeah, right now, not expecting a ton for Russellville. I think storms will really be weakening by the time they make it to Russellville. How's Elkins looking tonight? Not a whole lot, really. I don't think. Is there a whole lot moving into northwest Arkansas? Yeah, no. Just some rain and thunder. The severe weather risk in northwest Arkansas is pretty much near zero tonight. Very, very low. We only have 2 storms really of note right now. One near Ashdown and the other one near Greenwood, Hackett area, south of Fort Smith. And this is moving in now. So if you're in Hackett, if you live south of Fort Smith, near Rye Hill, Hackett, Midland, Greenwood, the Jenny Lynn community, if you live anywhere along Highway 71 south of Fort Smith down to pretty much Mansfield, if you live near or along Highway 96 from Greenwood up to Lavaca, if you live near Greenwood, if you live along Highway 10 east of Greenwood towards Boonville, not quite to Boonville, but the Sebastian County side, it's probably going to get pretty noisy soon. The severe thunderstorm moving into town. Amber says, what should we expect in Greenwood? It's about to get windy in Greenwood. Lots of rain, lots of thunder, some lightning. But the National Weather Service is referencing the potential for wind gusts up to 70 miles an hour in Greenwood, so certainly want to be inside. Alan says, I want a storm chase for you, Zachary Hall. Alan, send me a Facebook message, buddy, and we'll talk about storm chasing for me, okay? Let me know kind of what you're looking to do, and maybe we can work something out. Magnolia, says Donna. So Magnolia, Magnolia is under a tornado watch tonight. We'll have to see if any storms develop, but for now, there's no concerns in Magnolia for an imminent tornado or severe thunderstorm warning at this time. We only have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. One here near Greenwood area, Sebastian County, and the other one near Ashdown and Little River County. What time will it roll into Clarksville? It'll probably be there in Clarksville within the next hour and a half or so. Storms are moving pretty slow. So Fort Smith, Greenwood area, that same complex of storms is going to be moving to the east towards Clarksville, Paris, Russellville, and so on, but I think with a pretty low severe weather risk. How high of a risk for tornadoes in Fort Smith and Greenwood? For Fort Smith, very, very low. I don't think there's really a concern at all. For Greenwood, I'm watching this storm closely. I don't think it's like a high risk for tornadoes, but I think the bigger concern in Greenwood right now is it's just about to get windy. I think the straight line wind potential is legitimate at this time. It's really windy in Hackett right now. When will it be moving out of Lavaca? Probably in the next hour or so. But it's likely pretty windy in Hackett right now. You can see the stronger wind gusts there just north of Hackett. This is eventually going to swing to the east south of our radar site. This is where the radar is, guys, in Rye Hill. Stronger wind gusts are going to be pushing through this area. Greenwood, Lavaca, Barling, along Highway 22 and the 96 interchange. Hailing in Ashdown. Lori, how big is that hail in Ashdown? I would really like to know. I was just talking about that. I need to check my Facebook messages and see if anybody has sent me a report from Ashdown. Hailcore doesn't look as impressive as it did a couple seconds ago. But, yeah, likely hailing in Ashdown for sure. Tornadoes in Greenwood, says Braley. No tornado warnings in Greenwood, but it's about to get windy. You're under severe thunderstorm warning if you live in Greenwood. Strong storms are moving in soon. Power just flickered in Alma. Might be a little bit windy in Alma. Is the hail threat there for us around Midland? I would say small hail. No, I wouldn't say anything very big at all. Lights just flickered in Fort Smith. Yeah. Mario says, I left for a minute. Is it going to make it to Mountain Home? Yeah, there's a chance later tonight that rain and maybe some thunder can make it to Mountain Home, but there's not a severe weather risk. Thank you, Lori. Marble-size hail in Ashdown, so in southwest Arkansas. Power flickered in Lavaca. Getting a lot of people reporting power flickering. You guys are making me nervous because I'm in Greenwood, which means I'm next. And my power goes out so easy. Thank you for the marble-size hail report. I'm going to send that to the National Weather Service in Shreveport. Guys, I am home with my kids too, okay? Usually my wife is here helping, but she went out with a friend this evening, so my kiddos are here if, obviously if it gets too wild outside and they come in here. I would hope everyone would understand that. But strong winds are likely here in Hackett and the Bonanza community, moving to the south, to the northeast and east, likely impacting South Fort Smith, the Fort Smith area, eventually Greenwood, Barling, Lavaca. Pecola in the clear soon. It looks like the stronger part of the storm is over you now. It'll be clear of you soon. Rhonda says, we are at the Bakery District, which is in Fort Smith, and the lightning is crazy. There's a lot of lightning, yep. Cindy says, will this make it to the Little Rock area? Rain and thunder, yeah, possible, but severe weather, no, I'm not expecting that. Do you have Arkansas Valley or SWEPCO? No, I have SWEPCO. Yeah, I have SWEPCO. I lose power really, really easy. So, pretty frustrating, but I guess there's just nothing I can do for it. Yeah, if you're just now joining, they were in here earlier, my kiddos. I made sure that they got away from any windows. Delana, there's nothing in Mena right now. Nothing of concern for the time being. There's a thunderstorm, it looks like, moving into Polk County soon, but no warnings or anything like that. My mother-in-law just sent me a report from Hackett and said it is very windy and heavy rain. Thank you, Kim. It is very, very windy in Hackett, it appears, and this is headed for... It's moving off to the east towards Greenwood, Sebastian County in general, really. If you live in Sebastian County, it's probably going to get a little windy for a little bit. And plenty of rain to go around. The heaviest rain is likely from Fort Smith down to Hackett, headed for Greenwood. Summer says, do you think Hot Springs is okay? Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing in Hot Springs right now. Hot Springs isn't under, Garland County's not under a tornado watch. For those of you watching, I'm staying live because I live in Western Arkansas, so a lot of friends and family near Fort Smith, so trying to make sure everyone's informed of that. Generally, don't stay alive for just severe thunderstorm warnings, but we do have 2 right now. We've got one here near Fort Smith, and number 2 down here in Little River County, so near Ashdown. That's kind of all we've got right now, folks. The tornado risk tonight is pretty low. The severe weather risk in general isn't real high, but obviously, as we've seen, a couple stronger storms. Lisa says, are we expecting more storms overnight in the Waldron area? I think once this main line complex moves through, the worst of it is definitely beyond you. In Waldron right now, it looks like just some rain and thunder, so all good for now. The thunder sure is picking up in Greenwood. Yeah, I can hear it outside. It's pretty windy, or excuse me, pretty noisy. This storm does look like, and I'm not a acclaimed radar expert, but judging the presentation, it is closer to the radar site, so it's kind of hard to say. But I do wonder how much the wind potential is maintaining itself, because earlier when it was moving into Hackett, it was really strong. I wonder what those winds. I'm trying to listen outside my window. I've got a window here in front of me. It sounds like the rain's really starting to pick up, but Alan says, I just sent you to. Thank you, Alan. I'll check it whenever I'm done here, okay? Cheryl says Hackett is still going strong. Good, yeah. I still have power here, guys, in Greenwood, so win-win. 1 second, guys. Hey. Just making sure my kiddos weren't standing next to the windows. So it looks like, yeah, I don't see a whole lot as far as rotation over Hackett. I don't see a ton in that regard whatsoever. You know, obviously this is really close to the radar site, guys. The radar is in Rye Hill, which is in South Fort Smith. So sometimes it's kind of hard to see any rotation. It's really picking up outside my window here. This storm is about to move over me, so I'll report back on how it goes. But I do hear the wind picking up, quite a bit of thunder, of course, and I can hear the rain, obviously. But I do wonder about the wind potential with this. I think the damaging wind potential was higher near Hackett earlier in Cameron, right along the Arkansas-Oklahoma state line compared to now. Susan says, if you do a fundraiser of some sorts, I think all of your viewers would chip in for a Generac. Yeah, so I'm sponsored by Air Masters of Arkansas, and they do that. They're in Little Rock, and they serve Central Arkansas, and we've been talking about doing a Generac thing for the house. I'm sure they would take good care of me, but I appreciate it, Susan. My followers are really, really good to me. And guys, I see the super chat stuff on YouTube. I really appreciate it. I just don't really like discussing that live because I don't want people thinking that I'm on here begging for money or something. But thank you guys for sending those super chats. Mike, I see it, buddy. I appreciate that. Watching the storm near Ashdown in southwest Arkansas, this storm doesn't look as strong as it did earlier, but it's still severe with some hail potential. I had marble-sized hail report in Ashdown earlier. And then the storm moving through Sebastian County now is still severe warned, but I think, guys, for the most part, this is just a noisemaker. Plenty of thunder, lightning, maybe some brief winds. Is Mina okay? Yep. Nothing in Mina right now, guys. Just these 2 warnings. That's it. I'm going to check my Facebook real quick for any reports. Oh, wow. I just got a photo from Gina Pettigrew of the storm. This might be the storm moving into Greenwood. And this is spooky looking. I have to share this on Facebook real quick, guys. This is the severe thunderstorm warning moving into Greenwood. Cindy, I think Texarkana is okay right now. No severe thunderstorm warnings or anything like that. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to make a report real quick. That is spooky looking. I just posted on Facebook. It's the leading edge of the storm moving into Greenwood. So the severe thunderstorm in Sebastian County. I'll show you guys an image of it real quick on my Facebook. This is one of our severe thunderstorms. This is an image of that storm moving into the Greenwood area. So you can see, this is from Gina Pettigrew. This is in Greenwood at the Walmart, the Murphy station there. You can see this moving into, you can see kind of the leading edge, kind of a spooky look. You can see the heavier rain falling, the blue tint to the storm. Kind of looks like a beast coming over the top. That's pretty spooky. Thank you for that, Gina. Great shot. I think, for the most part, storms can intensify more. And obviously in southwest Arkansas, I'm keeping an eye on the storms there too. But for right now, this is one of the stronger storms, I think, the one near Ashdown. The storm obviously in South Fort Smith, Greenwood is moving through. This storm near Ashdown is probably our biggest concern over the next 30 to 45 minutes as it moves off to the east. And then the storm near Mena, we'll watch that. No warnings on it. And then the severe thunderstorm warning in Sebastian County moving through has been a little bit of a troublemaker when it comes to wind and whatnot. But if you're in Greenwood, I'm in Greenwood as well. I can hear it outside. Strong storm moving in. Next is Barling, Lavaca. This could potentially move into Charleston and Branch too, pretty strong. So if you live in Bloomer, Charleston, southern Franklin County, maybe parts of Logan as well, just a heads up, the storm is headed your way. Tisha, I think we're going to be okay in Greenwood. Just stay inside. Definitely don't want to be outside right now. Savannah says, will it come through the metro? I think you're talking about the Little Rock metro. This activity will eventually make it to Little Rock, but the severe weather risk is like 0. Close to 0 at least. I'll keep an eye on it, but I mean, we're kind of in the zone for where severe weather would be tonight, and I'm not expecting it a whole lot east of here. Just to give everybody a little bit of clarity, this really is it for the severe weather concern. Like this area. Outside of that, I don't expect a whole lot of anything tonight. I'm not expecting a bunch in general, so. Do I watch Reed Timmer? Yep. Yeah, Reed's a friend of mine. He's a good dude. I don't get to watch him a whole lot these days because usually when he's live, I'm live here. Or maybe if you know we don't have Arkansas stuff going on. Lee says, well, I've got 4 kids here and we're in a trailer. Should we go somewhere safe? Lee, where are you located? I need to know that first of all before I can give you some information. Michael says, lots of hail and cloud to ground lightning and ash down. Thank you, Michael, for that report. I saw that you guys said some marble-sized hail earlier. Really raining at my house, guys. If you can hear it outside, it's pretty noisy. I'm going to go as long as my power will let me. So Lindsay says, what about the Alma area? Yeah, not a whole lot going on in Alma right now. The worst of it is well south of you in Sebastian County. I think it's going to move south and east of Alma. Southern Crawford County in general, I think, is going to be okay. Gina says, it doesn't seem like there's much fuel for the storms. Yeah, we're kind of... Honestly, we had quite a bit of instability earlier today, but I think these storms are going to kind of outrun the best parameter space pretty quick. Edward says, are you in the storm where you are? Yes, it is. I live in Greenwood, so it's storming pretty good outside right now. I'm in the severe thunderstorm. I can hear the thunder outside. Sounds pretty windy. Brayley says, is Greenwood good from tornadoes? Yeah, no tornado warnings right now in Greenwood, guys. Just a strong thunderstorm moving through. It's windy. Certainly some stronger wind gusts moving through town at times, I'm sure. Brandy says, just started raining heavy in Barling. Yep. Storm moving in soon there in Barling. Sherry says, my daughter is in Lavaca in a trailer. I hope it's safe. I think she's going to be okay. Definitely want to be inside, though. Stay inside. Obviously, trailers can be rough when it's really windy, but certainly want her to, be inside, of course. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that I want to discuss in southwest Arkansas real quick. Excuse me, guys. We have a severe thunderstorm warning that includes parts of Hempstead County, southern sections of Howard County. This is a strong storm. This storm is kind of revamped a little bit. This does include Ozanne, Washington, McNabb, Fulton, Ogden. So here, mainly southwestern, west central sections of Hempstead County. It does not include Hope at this time. So a sliver of I-30 there. And then if you live near Tillett or south of Tillett, between Tillett and McNabb, a strong storm. You can really see the core of the storm here. Just moved over Ashdown, produced some marble-sized hail, and this is going to be moving off to the east. So just want everyone to be aware if you live in that area. Strong to severe thunderstorm moving into town soon. And then our other severe storm is moving through Sebastian County. You can probably hear it outside. I'm in the core of the storm right now in Greenwood. The worst of it is over Greenwood, moving towards Lavaca and Barling. 96 and 22. It looks like it's slacked off a little bit there south of Greenwood towards Huntington and Mansfield. Wouldn't be surprised if the National Weather Service expands the severe thunderstorm warning out to to Charleston, maybe sections of Logan County and southern Franklin County in general. Tori says, is there going to be hail in Barling? If there is, it's going to be pretty small, Tori. My son, the computer whiz kid, just told me that my computer is fine. Okay. Susan? Patricia says, what about extreme South Arkansas? Yeah, so from El Dorado over to Texarkana is really the concern there. I think areas east of El Dorado, the severe weather is tonight. Late tonight is very, very low. Beth, I did not see that. Lee Shan said Branch. If she's in Branch, if you're in a trailer in Branch, obviously don't like trailers in severe thunderstorms, but I think we'll be okay. Just need to stay inside. If you don't feel comfortable, you would need to leave pretty soon and go to maybe a gas station or a site-built structure. If you didn't feel comfortable, you would need to leave pretty soon, quick. The wind has arrived. Yes, I can hear it outside. It is very, very noisy. If we ran into you in town, would you take a picture with us? Of course, Sean. Yeah, man. Take pictures with people sometimes. I don't mind at all. What about Bryant area? Do we fall in the zone? No, not tonight, Cindy. Severe weather risk in Bryant is extremely low to near zero. James says, missed it if you said anything about Greenwood, Mansfield. Yeah, Mansfield, I think, is going to be okay, but Greenwood, strong storm moving through Greenwood now. Severe thunderstorm. So, moving through Greenwood now, it's about to move off to the east towards Lavaca, Barling, Bloomer, that part of the county. What about Benton? Same as Bryant, guys. There's no severe weather risk in central Arkansas tonight. Anything headed for Conway? Yeah, this whole complex is going to move east. I do wonder how well it's going to stay together. I mean, guys, this whole thing is going to move to the east. So if you live in Little Rock, Bryant, Zach, you're horrible at drawing. Good Lord. Well, it's really storming outside. Guys, this whole complex is going to move to the east tonight. So if you live in Little Rock, if you live in Conway, if you live in Bryant, Hot Springs, Malvern, Pine Bluff, Searcy, Heber, Russellville, it's possible that this is going to that it moves into your location. The thing is, though, the severe weather risk is very, very low. I feel like we're experiencing kind of the height of our severe weather concern tonight from Fort Smith down to Texarkana, and even then we only have 2 storms we're really watching. So, rain and thunder, though, could make it to you, and this could make it into eastern Arkansas early Sunday morning, too. Very windy outside, reporting from Greenwood. I can tell you, I can hear it. It is very windy. It's either really windy or the rain is so heavy that it sounds like the wind is very strong. Rebecca says, my lights are flickering in Greenwood. Excuse me, guys. It is windy in Greenwood, yes. It feels weird doing live coverage and living where the live coverage is talking about. I feel like I'm always talking about other places. It is storming outside, that is for sure. It does look like the wind is gusting out here, guys. You can really see it. So the radar sight's here, guys. This is a velocity product and does a good job of showing us what the winds are doing. And you can see the winds here are gusting out. This is kind of that gusting line is the winds. Think of it like a mass of something being just gusted out, pushed out. So if you live east of Greenwood, this is what I'm hearing outside. And this is, I mean, winds easily in excess of 30, 40 miles an hour, maybe stronger at times. So if you live east of Greenwood, if you live in the Washburn community, if you live in Lavaca, maybe even Charleston eventually, if you live along Highway 96 there near Fort Chaffee, if you live north of Highway 10 near the Fort Chaffee base, if you live there south of Charleston, this is headed your way. It's headed east. So pretty powerful storm. Good spring thunderstorm with some winds. Daniel, yes, Little Rock, very low risk for severe weather. And we do have a severe thunderstorm warning here in southwest Arkansas. We'll go over and discuss that again. It's been a moment since we've talked about it. This is moving out of Ashdown now and headed for Hope. Hope's not in the polygon yet, but you will probably be soon. The most dangerous part of the storm is here. This is kind of where the core, where the hail was earlier, had marble-sized hail in Ashdown. This is headed for Ogden, or excuse me, it's kind of over Ogden now, but it's headed for Fulton, McNabb, and a large chunk there of west central Hempstead County, Ozanne, Washington, and extreme southeastern Howard County, there south of Tillette. So that's our southwest Arkansas storm to talk about. We only have 2 storms really of note right now. The storm moving through Sebastian County is headed for Franklin County. It does have some strong winds with it. Strong winds moving through the Greenwood area now, and this is pushing off to the east towards Lavaca, Highway 22 in general. So Highway 22 runs here. You know, Lavaca's here, Barling's here. 22 runs from here to Bloomer, Charleston, Branch. So. Can you guys hear that outside my window? Wow. Abby says, do you think the Malvern area will see any tornadoes tonight? Really low risk, Abby. We'll see, but the risk is pretty low. The tornado concern tonight was in southwest Arkansas, and we haven't even had any tornado warnings down there. We had some stuff in southeast Oklahoma, so For now, I think you're safe in Malvern, Hot Spring County in general. We'll see. I don't want to tell you wrong. Yeah, no, Hot Spring County's not in the tornado watch. Grant County is, but Hot Spring County's not. When does it hit Ozark? Here in the next couple of hours, or excuse me, next hour probably, hour and a half at the most. Guys, I think, first and foremost, I want to say this. This live feed was sponsored today by Jam Mart. They're my go-to convenience store in Western Arkansas in the River Valley, and Arkansas Online Lawyer. If you have any legal concerns and you live in the state of Arkansas, Arkansas Online Lawyer can take care of you. Travis is my attorney. He does a great job. He sponsors a lot of my stuff. They have a web-based attorney service that you can get on. Just visit aronlinelawyer.com, and he can help you out. Really appreciate them for sponsoring my live tonight. Guys, if we have more tornado warnings, I'll come on and discuss that live with you. But for now, my kids are here with me. My wife isn't home tonight to help with the kids. She has some stuff going on. So I'm going to go hang out with my kiddos, make sure they're good to go. They're getting kind of noisy in there. So I'm going to go hang out with them, make sure they've had dinner, eat some dinner myself. I'll keep an eye on the radar. And if we have anything that's just crazy concerning, I'll hop back on and discuss it with you guys. But for now, I think we're okay. We have two storms, this one down here, and then the one moving through Sebastian County. And it really, in all reality, the main concern, guys, is just some hail and some wind. I don't see any imminent tornado concerns as of 7:09 p.m., so let's hope it stays that way. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I can't wait for a weekend with no severe weather concern. Hopefully we get that soon. But guys, obviously following on YouTube, Facebook. I'll have updates on Facebook, Twitter, or X, whatever we want to call it. But especially the Facebook page. If you guys are curious, I'll be sure to have stuff on there too. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Hopefully not on Tuesday, but it does look like severe weather is going to be possible on Tuesday. So